Hey folks, Bardo here. I just did a YouTube search for the Blue Galaxy on Forge of Empires. The last video was 2 years ago, and so much has changed since then, really to catapult this building into the #2 great building in the game. Well, at least according to 94% of my subscribers. So hey, let's talk about it. Here we go. Hello, greetings and salutations. This is Bardo coming at you. And today we're going to be talking about the Blue Galaxy. This is how all of a sudden it just seems like this building has catapulted into being the second most valuable great building in the entire game. So we're going to spend some time talking about that. Before we get into that though, let's talk about what the hell's going on in the game. So what's happening at Forge of Empires right now? Well, we are in the middle of the second round of Quantum Incursions. I'm curious how this has been going for you. I feel so much more confident playing it this time. I did become aware of some guides that really help to kind of navigate this process, how to approach this process. If you're interested in those guides, maybe shoot me a message on Discord or Reddit, or maybe post a comment. Happy to share what I've learned and share those guides with you, but it certainly makes it feels more fun because you actually have a sense of what you need to be doing. So that's been really great. I wonder how it's been for you. What else is going on? We are now in the middle of the anniversary event. I don't know about you. I feel like I'm struggling a little bit with it. You can see I've amassed a gigantic amount of energy at this point in time, and I'm not doing very well in the league. Look, I'm quite a ways out of the bronze category, but I think it's because I've tried to pace myself. I've saved up this energy. I'm trying to do, the four puzzles a day, and I have found that it just seems to be a challenge to try to figure out, when do you maybe choose to spend the energy and spawn some extra pieces? When do we use these bonuses down here? But look, it's a long event. We still got like 2 weeks to go. It's interesting, but I feel like I'm not doing very well. The daily specials have just been kind of blah at this point. We really haven't anything that look, Harvest Farm is what it is today. Who wants that? These are some outdated pieces. So hasn't been real exciting to me at this point, but we got a long way to go. And I think when we get the event building, that's going to be pretty cool. Okay, I want to get right into the hot tip of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, call your friends, wake the kids. It's time for the hot tip of the week. Now, I'm sure that we are all aware of the enormous boost that came for the settlement buildings, right? I've only got 2 of them in my city. I've got the Yggdrasil here, and then of course there's the Sun Temple. Now, the Sun Temple I'm working on the last settlement to get that fully leveled, so I'm certainly excited about that. But we've known about these enormous boosts. Now, what I just found out about, like yesterday, I think most people probably are not aware of this at this point. These buildings, not only are they significantly boosted, but now you do not have to put these things on a road. Okay, so look, let's look at the town overview here. And which, by the way, I'm going to give you a little bonus tip today. When you go into FoE Helper and you open up the map, right, and this pops up, if you click this box, highlight buildings that do not need streets, okay, look, you've got, zoom this out a little bit so we can see more of my city. But when you click this box, okay, all the buildings in purple that are showing up do not need roads, right? So the goal, of course, is you don't want these things touching roads. So I've got a little bit of work to do in my city, but the Yggdrasil, right, is touching a city, touching a road. The Sun Temple's touching a road. So that did not used to be the case. And these are decent sized buildings that it's just going to be better to put them around the perimeter, the outside of your city, so you don't have them touching the road. But hey, use the FOE helper tool so that you can easily see which buildings of yours do not need to be touching a road. Like I got a ritual flame here. I've got some buildings that I need to do something about. So I will be working on that. So, hey, space is a priority in this game. Take advantage of that added benefit, and let's get our settlement reward buildings off of these roads when they don't need to be. That's a waste. Okay, now, oh wait, I see, looky here, I've got some collections I need to make. I usually don't do this in my videos, but look, I'm trying to get my daily challenge so that I can get some extra keys for the anniversary event, which I would encourage you to do as well. Those extra keys I think are going to come in handy in the end. So I'm just going to collect this real quick. These are 4-hour productions, so let me just do these real quick, and then we'll get on to my video. I think I gotta get 22 of those in one day. Okay, now, all right, now before we get into the Blue Galaxy stuff, I do just want to just invite you to, if you like what you see on my channel, it would be awesome if you would subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Every time I see a new subscriber, it just motivates me to keep producing this content. So again, would love to have you. Now, the Blue Galaxy. So I posted a poll on my YouTube channel about a week ago, and 94% of the folks who responded voted that the Blue Galaxy is now the #2 great building in the game, only behind the Ark. Now, let's talk about why this is the case, and I do think it is the case. I tend to agree with this. For the longest time, I felt like my top 2 great buildings were clearly the Ark, and then for me, my Chateau was #2. I've leveled it quite high. I use recurring quests, and it just provides a tremendous amount of value. But I do believe that the Blue Galaxy has eclipsed my CF as the #2, which it's kind of funny I use the word eclipse just then, because tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, is the day of the Great American Eclipse. I live in Indiana, and we're actually in one of those areas that is going to be under complete totality. So that should be a lot of fun. But listen, folks, if the world comes to an end, it's been really fun. So, okay, back to the Blue Galaxy. I'm sure as a player you fit into one of 3 categories. You either don't have it, you do have it, and you're in the process of leveling it up, or 3, you have leveled it up. You've built it up to the optimal level of 91, and you are loving life right now. So which category are you in? I think we've got good news for all 3 categories. Now let's start off by talking about some of the basics of the Blue Galaxy. Now, this, first of all, what does this building do? If you do not know, I mean, I am currently level 91, and that is considered the optimal level for this building. And what that gives me is it gives me 15 chances at doubling my collection for a building. Now, this does not include other great buildings. It doesn't include the town hall, but it gives me 15 chances at a rate of 70% at level 91. This is an Oceanic Future building. It came out in 2017, which is amazing to me that was 7 years ago. This building came out 7 years ago, and it is now, I mean, look, I think it was a good building before, but now it's the second most valuable great building in the game, and it's 7 years old. Now, it's a 7x5, right? So it takes up 35 squares. Here are the goods that you need from Oceanic Future to put this puppy in the ground. And again, the optimal level is 91. I'm going to pull this up. Now, I want to show you. My friend Bonfrey did a video recently where he was also highlighting this tool. This is FoE Tools. What this particular function of this tool does is it shows you if you pull up a great building and you put in how high you want to level that building and at what if you're using a 1.9 thread, which I'm using in this example, it shows you that to get from 0 to 91, it is going to cost you as an owner 182,000. So, I mean, look, that's that's not chump change, but the value of this building is easily worth that, and you will recoup that over time. Now, I also wanted to show on the wiki page, if you scroll down here, you got this really nice chart, and it really kind of shows you why level 91 is the optimal level. But this is cool because it shows you, okay, when you start out, you get 4 charges and 17%. And then by the time you get to level 9, it's 6 charges. Then it goes up to 7 at level 15. And then all the way down here, of course, to level 91, and that's where you get 15. And folks, it does not get higher than that. Look, if you keep scrolling, and I don't know anyone that has a BG that's higher than 126, so I don't know how the percentages work after that, and this does not go beyond that. But needless to say, I mean, I think it's safe to say that once you get past 91, it's a point of diminishing return. I mean, you're just not going to get you're not going to get an additional charge, and the amount the percentages goes up is very small. So that's why you're better off at level 91. So those are some basic facts and information about the Blue Galaxy, but let's talk about why this building has absolutely skyrocketed in value just here in the last few months. Now, here's how I would encourage you to think about the Blue Galaxy. So obviously, most of the buildings that we are collecting with the Blue Galaxy are event buildings, right? And so for each one of those, like we go through an entire event and we've kind of busted our tail to get the fully leveled event building. So for example, the Enchanted Celtic Tavern, right? I think that was the reward building for the St. Patrick's Day event. And it's a really great one. I mean, it's a really good building, but the other thing about it is big. I mean, it is a big building. So we had to bust our tail for a large building. And so every time your Blue Galaxy doubles this thing, it's like having 2 of these buildings. So think about the amount of time that you put into getting these buildings. Think about the size of these buildings. And we all know this. We all know that this game is largely about maximizing your efficiency. In order to be an elite player, you have got to get the most out of the buildings that you have in your city. I mean, I have yet to meet a player that doesn't struggle with how to navigate the space in this game. I mean, space is a huge part of the game. It's a constant struggle to make the most efficient use of the space that we have. So the other thing I want to point out that really makes the Blue Galaxy even more valuable is that we're able to use the Blue Galaxy tool in FoE Helper. Now, this is such a tremendous benefit to us because it shows you exactly what your collection is going to be the next time you collect. Now, for me, you can see my next collection is in, like 6 hours. But it shows you what you're going to get. If you want to look and see, if you want to see which ones are going to give you the most forge points, I just sorted it by that. If you want to take a look at the fragments you're going to get, it sorts it by that. If you want to look at goods. So it's really great. Now, as you know, a number of the buildings in the city, it doesn't always give you the same thing. So here's a couple of good examples, I think. So let's take a look at the pirate hideout, right? So you can see the percent chance. I mean, I've got a 40% chance to get 48 forge points, and then there's, the other options. So less than half the time do I get forge points. But when I open up the Blue Galaxy Helper and I sort it by forge points, you can see, okay, there's the pirate's hideout. That tells me, of course, that the next time I collect, I am getting that, and I'm getting a 70% chance of that doubling. So that's really terrific. Another great example. So if you think about these, I now have 3 of these, where are they at? My Sacred Archdruid huts, right? Well, same thing. Those are going to give you let's look at this one right here, because then you can see um, what the options are. It is going to look at all these. I get a 25% chance of each of those things. So that might matter to you which ones you're going to collect based on what you want to get. So again, when you go into the Blue Galaxy Helper and you sort it by fragments, you see, okay, here are my 3 Archdruid huts. 2 of the 3 are giving me a Tree of Vitality upgrade kit. The other one is just giving me the standard Archdruid trees selection kit. So that is another great thing to take into account. Um, Another example is I've got 3 of the Druid Temples, 40% chance to get 30 forge points with that. And again, if you don't use the Blue Galaxy Helper, you don't know which ones are going to give you the forge points or not. So in this case, one of my 3 Druid Temples will give me 30. But then you're wondering, okay, gee, which one is that? Well, again, if you click the little eyeball here, look, it shows you on your map. Okay, I've got 3 of them, and it's the one that's over here by my gardens. So again, the Blue Galaxy tool um, just helps you to be even more efficient and makes sure you're getting what you want to get out of it. So listen, folks, I mean, at a time when other great buildings are clearly dropping in value, um, yet you're earning more forge points than ever, right? And you need some place to invest these. The Blue Galaxy is the perfect option if you don't have it. If you've already got your arc to 80 and you don't have a Blue Galaxy, you have got to start building that Blue Galaxy up, because that's the thing. If you think about the future of this game, it's not going to, I mean, it's changing, but it's changing in ways that make the Blue Galaxy even more valued, because these event buildings that are coming out are so amazing in terms of what they're producing. So anytime you can double that, um, that's awesome, and this trend is going to continue. The building is 7 years old, and it's only getting more valuable as we speak. So, folks, that's all I got for you today. Again, I always appreciate your time. Please drop a comment. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And until next time, this is Bardo. And as always, forge on, my friends, forge on.